If you open the profile of this boxer on Boxrec, you will see 38 wins and 34 losses there. And after that, you are unlikely to want to look for the best moments of this boxer's career on YouTube. But this is a different case. This boxer became a member of the Fight of the Year 2001 when he fought Mickey Ward in a crazy 10-round fight. 4-2 in that fight, they threw 2,100 punches. A year earlier, he engaged Floyd Mayweather Jr. in perhaps the most spectacular fight of Floyd's own career. At the same time, Mayweather missed more accurate blows in that fight than before in his entire career. A creative and spectacular boxer who, thanks to his movements in the ring, has become a cult figure among his fans. A tireless warrior with great fighting passion and a huge talent that every boxer would envy. This guy was ready day after day to meet in the ring with anyone, anywhere. Meet Emanuel Augustus, nicknamed the Drunken Master. Emanuel Augustus was born on January 2, 1975, and is considered one of the brightest boxers of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. He never became a world champion, but he still earned the love of fans and spectators. It's all about the unusual style, as well as decisiveness in battles. He was never afraid of his rivals, he was a journeyman. Floyd Mayweather Jr. often says that the Augustus fight was the toughest fight of his career. But the judges somehow did not appreciate the clown behavior of Emanuel in the ring. Therefore, he often lost on points. And he was not allowed to the title fights at all. He began his professional career under the name Emanuel Burton and had his first fight in the professional ring on July 23, 1994, winning on points. Augustus took his father's surname only in 2001, when his parents finally got married. His full real name is Emanuel Yakov Burton. The nickname YA is short for Yakov. The boxer's other nicknames are Outlaw and the Drunken Master. As a professional, August has frequently appeared on ESPN2's boxing programs Tuesday Night Fights and its counterpart Friday Night Fights since the early 2000s. There he earned his nicknames, just as his style was called String Puppet Dance. July 13, 2001, Emanuel went to fight with Mickey Ward.
He was and Mickey not competition.
When two famous journeymen, Emanuel Augustus and Mickey Ward, stepped into the ring at the Hampton Beach Casino, believe me, they didn't think about their health, money, or a second job. They only thought about boxing. They made the audience all these 10 rounds think only about boxing. For them, this is not a fun hobby, but life. The fight starts with Ward's wild swing. The fight ends with a selfless fight. In between, we see Augustus's accurate short punches and Ward's sweeping attacks, mutual exchanges and surprise attacks, Emanuel's beautiful evasions and Mickey's bullish straightforwardness. In the presence of crown blows to the liver of Ward and high-speed blows of Augustus. The spirit of boxing lived in the ring then. This fight, which was later recognized as the Fight of the Year, was won by Mickey Ward, but the most fair result would have been a draw. As we will learn later, the boxing functionaries had no plans for Augustus. In July 2002, Emanuel had one of his best fights with Carlos Wilfredo Vilches. A win over him put Augustus in second place in the IBF junior welterweight, 60 to 63.5 kilograms. He became the champion in the same category for only a few months, from April to June 2004. He lost his title due to disqualification. He began to argue with the judge. Perhaps the peak of Emanuel's fame can be considered 2004, when he fought Courtney Burton and received a very controversial loss. Courtney Burton, at the time of the fight with Augustus, was considered a pretty decent boxer. He was dragged to the heights and scored a pretty decent record of 20-2. In his last fight, he knocked out Angelo Manfredi himself, and even earlier a decent boxer, Gabriel Ruelas. The same Ruelas, in the fight with which Gaddy earned his first Fight of the Year. If at the beginning of the fight Emanuel just looks better, then in the third round he makes it clear that he and Courtney are fighters from different leagues. In the fourth round, Augustus, after 2 excellent blows to the liver, sends Courtney to the canvas. This is where the fun begins. The referee Dan Kelly does not count the hit, showing that the hit was below the belt. Interestingly, 2 years later, Augustus knocked Burton down with the same backhand. After a minute of rest, Courtney Burton naturally recovered. All this could be attributed to the inattention of the judge, but then the show began. Only Augustus and Kelly participated in the show. Burton was just a decoration. Emanuel begins to dance and carry out rapid combinations. The referee will be rude. He deducts a point from our hero for another hit to the body, deducts another point for the original exit from the clinch. Augustus will simply grab Burton's arm and turn around the axis, as in ballroom dancing, and his look will express your shit. As a result, Augustus understood everything, spat on the fight, and began to simply sneer. In the midst of the fight, he began to talk to someone from the audience and, despite the opponent, deliver accurate blows. You wanted a circus, you got it. The victory, of course, was given to Courtney Burton, who was ridiculed during the fight. It was one of the most unfair judicial decisions in recent years. The judge's decision was even investigated in a Michigan state court, but was not overturned. But everyone around started talking about Emanuel. In general, he was supported, although in part they criticized the clownery in the ring. This guy has an amazing reaction, good speed, bestial reflexes, a decent punch, and some kind of reinforced concrete jaw. With all this, on July 8, 2005, Emanuel approaches the fight with the once promising Puerto Rican Ray Oliveira, having 25 defeats in his arsenal. What happens in this fight makes you forget about all these mundane things: victories, defeats, belts, P4P ratings, etc. When the current generation, bent under the weight of seriousness, ambition, and pragmatism, will sink into oblivion, Emanuel Augustus will be reborn and, like William Blake, who was never fully understood by his contemporaries, will shine in his true greatness. Augustus's actions in the ring are jazz. He is damn artistic, charismatic, and charming. When you see him drawing patterns on Oliveira's face with his left hand or hitting with both hands at the same time, don't try to write it off as a hallucination. No, this is the pure truth. Everything to the last dance, to the last illogical combination, to the last game of hide and seek by the ropes. All this exists. But beauty is beauty, and in boxing they hit you on the head. Sometimes very strongly. In the 8th round, the Hampton Beach Casino will be shaken by the scream of Ray Oliveira. It will be a cry of pain and despair. And even such a lover of toughness as Steve Smooger will not be able to endure this and stop the fight. On September 1st, 2006, Emanuel Augustus entered the rematch against Courtney Burton. An old acquaintance of Emanuel Augustus did not waste time after their last fight. Courtney Burton had 3 fights in which he suffered 3 crushing defeats by knockout. Not the same fellow with a clean face and great prospects entered the ring. A man entered the ring about the inflated record, probably every Oklahomian already knew. Augustus was so often thrown by the judges that he revised his approach to fights and began to rely on the extremely serious style of fighting and early victories.
Because he makes more moves than he had to. Right now. Number one, there's something that's usually a negative. He's been off 9.5 months, Joe.
The Augustus we knew after a solid body hook in the 8th round would have jumped around Burton and stuck out his tongue. But Augustus of the 2006 model will seize this opportunity and, diverting the protection to his head, will plant control shots in the damaged point. The victory is clear and unconditional. And now you can dance. During his career, the boxer had 78 fights. He has 38 wins, 20 of them by knockout. Despite the general originality of the style, Augustus prefers the classic stance, left foot in front of the right. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Joe Frazier also stood in the ring. Therefore, clowning is clowning, and you need to know the fighting technique perfectly well. Emanuel Augustus is at the top of the list of the most dangerous professional experienced boxers, ready to take on a challenge from any opponent.
He's incredible. I tell you.
By 2011, Augustus began to lose steadily. They even began to call him the sad clown, since he did not hide his emotions from defeats. It was towards the end of his career.
The only clean punch in that series. Those punches missing, the right hand getting in, so out of 6 punches there.
Who knew that the fighter would receive the main blow outside the ring? On the night of October 13th, 2014, the boxing world almost lost one of the most original and interesting fighters. Emanuel Augustus, the dancing boxer, was critically shot in the back of the head on a street in Baton Rouge. It was in this city that the fighter began his boxing career. Augustus had nothing to do with the shooter. The guy quarreled with his brother and opened random fire. After being wounded, he was connected to a ventilator. However, a month later, the boxer came to his senses. As of 2016, Augustus was engaged to be married, was in improved health and spirits, and had returned in training. Whether he will enter the ring again is too early to say.